back from series' beach vacation at the Rolex 24. BSR AMSOIL Truck Series is back in action with some short track racing here at Indianapolis Raceway Park. You join us for round 4 of our 7th season of action here, live on JCTV. I'm Olivia Hayward. I'll be bringing you all the action here for tonight's race, and welcome to one of Indiana's great racing tracks. Just 10 miles from the legendary Speedway, this 0.69 mile racetrack opened in 1960, and ever since then has hosted a lot of pretty major events in the state. It sort of acts as the unofficial prologue destination for races at IMS, including the Carbonite Classic for the 500, night before F1 meets back when that World Championship raced here, and most notably for this series, a Friday night prologue for the Brickyard 400, which started when the Track Series opened in 1995 and continues to this day after renewing that partnership in 2022. This is quite an interesting short track to race at here tonight. It is 12 degrees of banking, and as you can see from these started shots, the High Line ends up being the favoured destination for a lot of the racing, but you can definitely still use the line to make some passes, especially in these trucks. There's going to be quite good racing here, I think, tonight. Fuel can go upwards of 120 laps, so we're expecting the tyres to be the limiting factor for our drivers here tonight. Remember, just 5 sets available, including the one they start with on the truck. The keys are going to be to keep your machine in one piece. Stay away from the wall, don't get those Darlington stripes, and don't get nudged around by any of the other drivers out on track. We've got 20 cars here tonight. We are just coming to the end of practice right now. Your top practice time is going to be the number 4 of Nathan Fuller, with Mika Walls further behind. And we're going to come to the checkered flag and get ready for our 2 laps of qualifying. And there's the rest of the field. While we wait for some drivers to get out on track, let's have a quick peek at our schedule for this season. We started, of course, at Daytona on the 4th of January. Came round at Las Vegas and Auto Club for a 1-week break again for drivers to go to the Rolex 24, but it's full speed ahead from here. Racing here at IRP. Got a road course race at Sonoma next week, and then on to our mid-season Madness tournament, which starts at New Hampshire and then checks off Texas, Dover for our finale there at Darlington. We'll focus on Nathan Fuller, our top practice times. He gets going for qualifying here. You can see dips below, almost below 100 mile an hour through the middle of the corner. This could be a warm-up lap here. I think the second lap might be when the tyres are in their optimum window. But we'll see what the number 4 can do here. Coming around, and actually, that's going to be a disaster for Nathan Fuller. That is going to use up both of his laps, and he's not going to get a time on the board. Cameron Caldwell gets beaten by William Kemp for the start of this, but Nathan Fuller is going to be starting from the tail end of the field here. Let's go on board with Christopher Smeltzer instead and see whether the number 19 truck can get a better result here in that Chevrolet. This will be the first lap coming around the backstretch here, and you can see the rear end really wants to come around on the front tires with how much you're having to push through the corners. Let's not forget that a tap of the wall in qualifying will invalidate your lap, as Smelter goes to the top of the board on lap number 1 at 21.845. Will the second lap be any faster for the North Carolinian here? Must be down to 93 miles an hour, and again, just trying to find a little bit too much on exit. Of course, had that banker lap to rely on, so no harm, no foul there. Justin Durand is going to move up into P8 here, and we'll follow with Cody McCorkle, who's just going to finish lap number 1. Let's actually go on board onto the onto this track and see how little grip the tyres can find here. Second place, now third place qualifying time for Cody. Getting to the 21.8, but can he find anything on lap number 2 here? Oh, 4 tenths down actually, so really using the best of the tyres on that first lap. Still got 2 minutes left to see if any drivers can set some improved times. Michael Walls has been one of our stronger drivers so far this season. And is just coming to start the second lap as my... you can see the truck just fly through there. The timing screen decides it wants to take a bit of a nap. There ain't too much action here tonight, it seems like, for as well. Hope to have that back up and running very shortly. Right, some quick technical difficulties here. We'll try and get everything fired back up in time for your race here tonight. Again, 200 laps of action on offer. And while we are waiting for this all to fire back up, let's have a look at our series points. As you can see, the 3 drivers with wins so far this season: Traber Burns, Alex Kerfen, and Stephen Maggio, taking home the first 3 races of our season here. But it's Rivers Jones who has been very, very consistent and currently holds the top of the standings with a 2-point lead over Justin Roth. It's been a really competitive field, and I feel like it's really a lot of the really strong drivers who have ended up ready for action here tonight. It's quite exciting to see what they think they can prove here in this one. As any luck, should have everything back up and running, and we can start to get a look at our grid for tonight's race. Justin Durand is going to line up on the pole position with Mika Walls alongside on row number 1. Alonso Chicano and Christopher Smeltzer will make up row number 2 here tonight, with Cody McCorkle and Alex Kerfen, of course, our winner at Las Vegas, rounding out our top 6. Rivers Jones and Levi Poland will line up behind, with Jonathan Jerdensmeyer and Cameron Caldwell the rest of our top 10. Kristen Maher and William Kemp will have 11th and 12th, with Justin Roth and Brett Bennett behind. Josh Coffinall, David Duran Jr., Nathan Fuller, Austin McGill, Stephen Thornton and Dakota Knoll will be our 20 drivers lining up for tonight's race. They are now rolling off. So those technically really don't account the pigeons. They will have 2 pace laps, of course, with it being a short track. That is a little bit of time to talk about our strategy, of course. We have a 200 lap race here. We will have a stage break at the end of lap 50. But when we're looking at what we're expecting in terms of fuel, you could go more than 120 laps on a tank if you want to try and stretch it. I doubt anyone will want to go that far. As you mentioned, it's probably a bit of a tyre limited race here. And you have those 5 sets to work with. I imagine Giles would be hesitant to try and take a set before that stage break, try and save as many as possible for potential late cautions, and up to 3 we might check as on offer here tonight. So as our field comes through turns 3 and 4, this car is going to pull off to the left-hand side. That is going to be an awkward entry as well if anyone does have to make green flag stops, but it is in control of Justin Durand here at the front of the field, and Barney the flagman want to get us ready to go racing here at IRP. 200 laps of short track action. Here we go. It's a great run from Maker Wall on that top side. We were saying that lane might be the preferred line, and it looks like immediately the number 7 has jumped out to a great lead and is looking to try and give some distance to stay out of trouble. As so Christopher Smeltzer actually got into the wall a little bit further back. But everyone is still running. A lot of double files still here in action as we get to the end of our first lap of racing here tonight. Looks like Gabe Zola might have opted for a pit lane start here. Might have already fallen a lap down, of course. Lucky Gods will be on offer for anyone who needs them, but we 20 trucks, we are hoping that we can get a decent green flag run in here to get a feel for who has the best tyre wear on offer. They are still backed up side by side, nearly 3 wide, a little bit further behind there actually. A little bit of breakaway that Walls and Durand are trying to break here, as Kerford and Chicano are a little bit battling, but look at how sort of disorganized it is on that low side. Drivers struggling to find some clear air here as they keep fighting for that dominant high slide on the corner, and it's just checking them up. And when you get into that sort of lockstep side by side, it's going to let the cars ahead who might be running in that single groove a little bit more chance to run away. We will focus forward to Alex Kerfen now, who is in this battle with Lon Chicano for P3 currently, but you can see gap of a second now to our leaders. Those top 2, I think, just opted to work together right now and run away a little bit. Gabe Zola back in pit lane. It looks like maybe opting for a start in part for number 95 here. While the rest of the field comes around turns 3 and 4 to complete their 6th lap of action here tonight. Oh, and Justin Durand is now having a look on the inside of Mika Walls. Can't quite get the move done, and Walls will cover it off, but maybe he's seen enough of a gap behind that there's some confidence to try and fight this one out. Alex Kerfen has set the fastest lap of the session back in P3, so this is really not the time for those front 2 to be fighting if they want to try and hold on to those positions. You just see a little bit further back though how unstable the trucks are looking, sort of coming out of the corners. You're trying to get the power down as early as possible, but then as you straighten out the wheel, the truck have a tendency to keep over rotating and have that squirm through the front and the back stretch. And I think if we are to see a caution in this first stage, I think it might be a single car incident from someone just pushing a little bit too hard, going for that exit speed, as the number 4 of Nathan Fuller again didn't have the qualifying we wanted, but already up 7 positions. And actually have a look at Nathan Fuller as he gets pinched down to the low side. See how tightly he's racing Cameron Caldwell to try and climb further up into the top 10. very nearly putting that truck in the wall, and I think getting a little bit of help back around again. It's definitely the closest battle we have on track right now, and the Ford definitely the truck to watch, despite the qualifying issues, and actually taps around Cameron Caldwell in number 12. Gives a second little nudge to straighten Cameron back out, but I'm sure Cameron not going to be thrilled about how that overtake was finished. Again, luckily, both trucks stayed in one piece there. But Nathan Fuller really not looking to wait for much longer in that charge through the field. And if I was Cameron, I'd be worried about how those the rear tyres are feeling right now with that sort of bit of flash heat that got put into them. But it looks like he's trying to, gather it back up. He's only fallen one spot now as he's managed to fend off Justin Raw and Tristan Maher. Is now just going to settle back into a rhythm and try and regroup for the rest of the stage. Nathan Fuller, meanwhile, already looking to charge onto the back of Rivers Jones. Again, two drivers who are, doing fairly decently in the point standings right now. So this could be another hard-fought battle. We've seen a good amount of these drivers so far this season. And just a reminder of Nathan Fuller's charge through the field, started in 17th place, already up 8 positions and looking to make it 9 on the back of the 18 of Rivers Jones. Let's go on board once again and see what he can do. You see that low line, straight lunge through the middle of the corner, but then Jones can pull away, going out of turn number 4. It's really about whether Nathan can stay alongside down the backstretch and then try and clear into turn number 3, but it doesn't look like he's been given that option right now. See further ahead, there's that battle for P6 right now. Cody Batortal and Christopher Smeltzer as the number 2 truck makes that move stick. And then look like further back, Nathan Fuller has now managed to get the nose ahead. I don't think he's going to have the option to clear here, especially with Christopher Smeltzer covering off that line, and that could give Rivers Jones a chance to fight this one back. But now coming to turn number 1, it looks like that might be just about enough for Fuller to complete that move, and now dipping 9 positions from the start in just 17 laps. And Smeltzer, of course, started 4th, has been struggling a little bit so far in this run, and so this could be another opportunity for Nathan Fuller to complete this move, as a little bit of a wall scrape from Smeltzer. He's going to just about have the overlap coming out of turn number 2, but should have a chance for Fuller to clear through the middle of turn 3 and 4. And now this is number 4 truck up 10 positions since the start of this race. A great drive through the field so far. Smeltzer really is struggling to keep grip on that high side, keeps finding that outside wall. It's going to give Jones a chance to clear here. He is going to clear mid-corner, and that could open up the opportunity for William Kemp to try and slot it back in, although the draft is going to give Smeltzer a chance to fight back or fending off just that little bit longer. But as Fuller goes up 10 spots since the start, it is unfortunately Smeltzer down 5 positions after a second row start. Just can't seem to find the consistency in the race trim. And there comes the 09 of William Kemp, making a bit of a late corner charge to try and shuffle Smeltzer down into P10, and it looks like maybe successful on the low side coming out of turn number 2. Because it's the nice thing about this sort of stage racing, you have the first quarter to have a feel out of what your tyre wears like, whether you need to be dialing it up or down a little bit, as that's Cameron Caldwell, who goes for a big drift through turns 1 and 2 off the rear bumper of Christopher Smeltzer. A little bit of a half-hearted move, and of course not very good for the rear tyres, not very good for the track position, but a great job to keep that under control the whole way around the corner and to keep the race green as we start lap 24 of this contest. And that'll give Smeltzer a little bit of respite to try and gather up the tyres and to make a charge in the second half of the stage. Let's focus back on board with our hard charger of the night, Nathan Fuller, mistaking qualifying, forced him to abandon both laps. Started 17th, now up to 7th, and side by side with Cody McCorkle for a brief moment, going for that 6th position. McCorkle, I think, just a little tap of the wall, and he's going to let Nathan Fuller through. That is now the number 4 truck up 11 positions so far on the night, just 25 laps in. Let's jump back to Cameron Caldwell. It seems has been the centre of all the action so far tonight. 2 big slides caused from either end of the truck here for our number 12 machine. We're in down in P13, which is just out of the stage point window, but you can see Christopher Smeltzer only about a second up the road, if that. Holding on to P10 with Tristan Maher, putting a lot of pressure on that left rear panel and trying to slot through. And when Caldwell as well, down on the low side of Justin Raw, is not quite going to be able to clear through turns 1 and 2, but we are 2 by 2 coming down the back stretch here. Justin Maher is going to be able to clear. Cameron Caldwell and Justin Raw will continue to fight, but that is number 17 into the final points paying position of the stage. As further back, these two still in lockstep, as Cameron Caldwell just about able to clear, but now Justin Raw going for the switch back onto that low side coming through turns 3 and 4. Our battle for P8 here, Rivers Jones and William Kempf running very close together. Nathan Fuller's actually managed to get around Jonathan Jordensmeyer for P5 now in this stage already. Still got 18 laps to go for Nathan to try and climb further into the top 5. But Mika Wall's done a great job holding that gap and keeping even Justin Durand at bay. After those two walked away a little bit at the race start, Wall's now up by 1.6 seconds over the rest of the field. See, actually Cameron Caldwell's managed to slot around Christopher Smeltzer now, who is really struggling in this opening stage. Justin Raw now to the inside, and they'll enter turn 1 side by side. And Justin Raw finding so much grip on that low side is in a clear, and it is just going from bad to worse for the number 19. Is going to make it to the end of the stage on the lead lap, we would think. But from such a strong qualifying position, it's not the opening of the race that Christopher would have wanted. Next up is Levi Poland, who's also fallen 7 spots since the race start, but looking to take advantage of this slow, and it's so difficult into a rhythm in a situation like this. when there's a pack of cars and one of them sort of gets you offline for the overtake, suddenly it can just open the door for the next one. You can spend sort of 5-10 laps where you constantly have someone trying to make their way around. And I think that might be part of the problem. It's also, wreak havoc on your tyres, trying to constantly defend a position and gets into the wall one more time, which should allow Levi Colin to play here for P14. Let's look further up at Nathan Fuller, who's just made a move on Alex Kerford for P4. That is now up 13 positions since the start of this race. We're not even at the stage break yet. A fantastic drive from number 4, who we knew had great pace in practice and was really putting it all on the table here in qualifying. Stephen Thornton has gone one lap down here now to our race leaders, but is hoping to hold on to the lucky God spot. Josh Coppenall is a few seconds ahead and may be able to fend off the charge with just 11 laps left in this stage. And I'm sure Stephen Thornton is Josh's biggest fan right now in that regard. See, actually, London Chicano catching the wall a little bit. They are approaching this lap truck, who has been pretty friendly to the field so far, it seems. Really sort of getting out of the way when the lead lap trucks are approaching, but Chicano seems to be right on that low side. And I think going to hold on to it coming out of turn number 2 and letting both of these trucks by. Maybe a few more, actually. But a very pedestrian race for Alonso so far. Started 3rd, fell back to 1 position early, but makes it back to 3rd as a few more problems are again. Keep an eye on this battle in the final 10 laps of the stage. Remember, this is the battle for P3. Lando Chicano in that 25 truck and Nathan Fuller behind in the number 4. Fuller's starting to slow down on that charge a little bit. I think maybe he's used the best of the tyres, making those 13 overtakes so far. And honestly, I think he'd say it was worth it after the green and checkered flag falls here in a few laps' time. That'll be 7 points in the championship, and more importantly, that will just give him the chance to really recover the race going into the second stage, which is 150 laps, and could see a little bit of strategy if we can stay clean and green as we have so far. Having all sorts of technical issues here tonight. I'm sorry about that. This is could be the chance for the move now here, though. Alonso Chicano has let Nathan Fuller close very close to the in. And they have to be just a couple of laps. Josh Coppenall has actually fallen now behind your leader of mutual walls, and so will receive the judge over Stephen Thornton. as now approaching the very end of the stage. In fact, this is going to be our white flag for the stage. Justin Durand has fallen back a little bit. But he's going to hold on to P2. It is going to be, though, of course, Mika Walls, 4 seconds of a lead to take the green checkered flag at the end of stage number 1. And really putting on a fantastic show here so far. Caution flies, and we will see our stage results. It's Mika Walls, Justin Durand, Alonso Chicano, Nathan Fuller up 13 positions, off the start of that. Alex Kerfen will line up P5. Jonathan Jerdensmeyer, Cody McCorkle, Rivers Jones, Cameron Caldwell, and Tristan Maher rounding out your 10 drivers receiving stage points here tonight. I wasn't particularly expecting a green flag first stage, I've got to say. Really a great job from the entire field to pull that off. And of course, everyone is going to come in. They're going to want fresh tyres here. Just 2 trucks staying out, and I think those will both be your trucks that have lost laps so far in this race. And first off pit road, of course, it will be Mika Walls. It'll be Justin Durand second, and it looks like Alonso Chicano has managed to hold position over Nathan Fuller. A lot of drivers staying roughly where they were coming through that first stage. But I think now that we've gotten that pit cycle through, let's have a quick word with our stage winner. Led all 50 laps up starting from second place. It will be if is he not in the Discord again? Well, I guess in replacement we'll have a quick word with our lucky dog here, who's just cycled back onto the lead lap, Josh Coppenall. Hello, Josh. It's Olivia in the booth, and welcome back to the lead lap.
Yeah, thanks.
Talk us through how that first stage was, because obviously staying green, I think, was something that we maybe didn't expect from a race like this. It's definitely short track to expect a few cautions, but the field doing a great job in this first stage to keep the action clear and green. And how does that play havoc on your tyre wear in a track like this?
Well, we're actually coming back to the green, but I'm slow, but I don't know. I was actually expecting a pretty chaotic stage there myself, and it wasn't. So that was different. Hopefully this run right here can be the same. We can go green, and I don't know. Maybe we can figure something out how to be fast.
Okay, well, I'll let you get back to focus here as we are back to racing once again. And it is going to be Mika Wall still leading, but Alonso Chicano actually trying to make that high side work on Justin Durand. And let's not forget, Nathan Fuller made it up 13 positions, is now on equal tyres, and you don't expect he had burned up a lot making those overtakes happen. Was we're 3 wide a little bit further back, actually. Cameron Caldwell and Rivers Jones, of course, Caldwell, who definitely got the short end of the stick a lot in that first stage, but now put up to P7, looking to fend off these trucks behind. Everyone taking 4 tyres is you would expect, even the trucks that did go a lap down, not choosing to take that risk, as a wiggle down from Justin Rourke there on that low side is going to gather it back up. But again, it's on these restart phases where you're forced onto an alternate line, where you're really seeing the struggles from trucks on the power on the exit. You've got to pinch it a lot tighter than you're used to, and that is where you can really run into some trouble. As we have some trucks in the wall there. Looks like it was Brett Bennett and Cody McCorkle who found the wall through turns 1 and 2. Keeping it putting in the right direction, but that could be a bit of damage on the number 2 there. As the left front does not look particularly happy. It's falling all the way down to P15 off the back of that one. I'm just going to be hoping that we get a caution pretty soon here. Brett Bennett's truck, I think, is looking a little bit less beat up here. That's a real shame for McCorkle, who was running good in the opening stint here, as that is a spin off for turn number 4 for David Durand, and that will be our first incident caution of the night. Unfortunately, no damage for the number 24, but that will bring proceedings back under yellow for just a little bit, and I think crucially give Cody McCorkle a little bit of time to try and gather that, try and fix up that damage, and to get that truck back running in good condition again. Let's have a quick look from on board, and you just see tries to get on the power a little bit. I think while also being aware of that truck a little bit further ahead. It's just so easy to have that happen. And luckily no damage inflicted. Spun to the low side of the track where everyone could get around without too much issue. But we are going to be under our second caution of the night. Brett Bennett is into pit lane along with Cody McCorkle. As we expected, both of these trucks picking up damage from those wall hits just a few laps ago. That's not your pit box, Cody. And let's stop. Of course, not taking tyres, wanting to try and save as many of those extra tyre sets as possible to try and extend the race and save them for a potential green white checkers, as that's not meant to be there. And so it'll just be maybe a splash of fuel, and more importantly, a little bit of time for the crew to work and put some tape on those front corners where that contact was made. As I think is also an opportunity for Stephen Thornton to get a lap back, will be the lucky card recipient under this caution. And so we're now back to 18 drivers on the lead lap. William Kemp still one lap down and now pitting for maybe a little bit of damage, but I think also has a bit of damage on that right front corner. With, of course, Gabe Trizol, I think, having some hardware issues and not able to really get going in this one, but will take home P20 points along with the rest of the provisionals for tonight's race. I believe this is going to be us coming to the choose cone. And no surprise here, Mika Walls, who's led every lap so far, is going to go high. Alonso Chicano also swings to the high side, and that's going to put Nathan Fuller onto the front row for this restart. Remember, that number 4 started in 17th place, and 17th place here is now running all the way in second on this restart. And we've seen how he's able to make the moves on that low side, so potentially is going to try and make a move for the lead here. Of course, it is under the control of Mika Walls on the high side here. Can go basically whenever he chooses in the restart zone. And he's going to go pretty early. And Alonso Chicano is going to get a good jump, actually, and be side by side with Nathan Fuller coming through turns 1 and 2. That's obviously why the 25 chose that high side. Is he going to be able to clear? That is going to be yes. And Fuller will have to slot back into P3 for the time being, having, of course, dispatched Tristan Durand in that previous run. And again, it's Mika Walls controlling this race all the way from lap 1, turn 1. Maybe had the fortuitous position of starting on the outside pole with Justin Durand setting fast qualifying time. And because of that, he's going to start like, but actually, Lon Chicano now going to the low side is going to put a challenge on the number 7 Mika Walls for the race lead. It's really the first time we've seen particularly under threat in about 50 laps here. I think the 25 looking to not cause too much trouble. That's going to be a bump from Nathan Fuller coming into turn number 3. I think the 4 also wanted to go for that low side to make the move on Alonso, while he was going for the move on Mika in the number 7. That's noises of a truck in the wall. It seems like maybe just a glancing blow, and we've settled back into our usual rhythm for now. And I'm going to need to have words with ATV over this. This is... Lon Chicano actually is going to have a slow run through turns 3 and 4 there. It's going to leave Nathan Fuller an opportunity to try and duck into the inside, but it's not going to work out. He's going to have to slot back in a little bit further behind. Well, still not giving up on this move, is really squeezing Alonso as high as possible through the middle of the corners there. But is not able to make the move happen right now, of course. Up 14 positions in the race, but always to be the hardest when you get to the front of the field, and these drivers who have been dominant all evening long. These two doing a great job pulling away from the field behind, though, of course. Justin Durand not really able to put too much of a threat in here. As Nathan Fuller again to the inside. So close to contact on that left rear quarter panel. And that's the precision that I think is showing. Maybe looking to give a little bit of a nudge now mid-corner to try and make this one stick. But unfortunately is gonna be able to keep things under control for the time being, as now this could be the opportunity that he was looking for. Had the run on the straight, but gonna be tough. They're gonna try and give it to as little room as possible. There's gonna be a little bit of contact off turn number 4, as Chano has a little bit of a wiggle. Fuller's now going to leave absolutely no room at all. He's going to clear through turn 1. Chicano with a little bit of a nudge in turn 2, but it'll end up being for nothing, and Nathan Fuller will make that move stick. Now 15 positions from the grid position and the no time set in qualifying. a bit further down the field now. We've got a big battle pack for P10 here, the top 9, with quite a big breakaway into Rivers Jones, Coat and Knoll here. Let's focus it a little bit further back again, and Tristan Maher trying to make the move on Brett Bennett, but there's a little bit of a nudge, I think, from David Duran Jr. And a try and cycle on that top side once again. We get towards the halfway point of this race, towards lap 100. I wonder if some drivers are going to be thinking about the potential of green flag pit stops. It could play a little bit of a factor here if we end up staying green. We expected the fuel window to be over 120 laps potentially, but final stage being 150, that is still going to be a little bit of a tough ask to make that one work on fuel. I don't think you're necessarily wanting to think about fuel save while you've got all the trucks around you and the tyres underneath you to be focused on. Tristan Maher still looking for this move on Brett Bennett, and I think gets delivered to the corner of Brett Bennett, not wanting to fight that one out of turn number 4. It's a little bit of a wiggle from Cody McCorkle ahead. And this is really a train being led by Rivers Jones. They are more than 2 seconds off the back of the top 9 of this field. Christopher Smeltzer being the tail end of that next group up. But let's go back to the front of our field where Mika Walls, who again has led every lap so far in this contest, now is under threat from the number 4 of Nathan Fuller. Fastest time in practice, could not get a qualifying lap in. Started down on the 9th row of the grid, but now within 3/10 of the number 7. And we know that both of these drivers are gonna, leave everything on the track, including a little bit of body work if they need to hold on to the winners. We actually have a caution out on the racetrack. It will be the number 90 of Levi Poland. And let's have a look at what happened for this one. Whittle out of turn 4. The checkup of trying to catch it, and I mean, you can see on the back of I think that was Cody McCorkle. Just struggling to check up for it. And that will actually be now our field down pit lane, as everyone about 40 laps since the first stage ended thinking this is a good chance to take some tyres. And let's not forget, that does answer the fuel questions of being able to make it to the end of this race if it were to stay green. It's not likely, but that does answer that question. See all the drivers starting to make that run. It is going to be Mika Walls who makes it out of pit lane first. There's going to be a very tough side-by-side there. And it looks like Justin Durand is going to be the one who cycles out ahead. And actually, Stephen Thornton did stay out an extra lap. Not sure whether he got that lap led, but is now going to pull it down into pit road. William Kemp also going to be the beneficiary under that caution. And we're going to have all 19 running cars back onto the lead lap, so long as Levi Poland is able to get that truck fixed up. And looks like no meatball being shown for the number 90 is going to potentially come down again to take some extra repairs, but doesn't have to spend extended time down there. It's just going to be a little bit of front bodywork damage, and as much as aerodynamics are still a factor at a track like this, it's not going to be the biggest concern in the world. I think it's light enough where the engine should be able to keep in one piece and be able to keep fighting. This is the sort of state we expect trucks to be in coming to the end of these races, as I believe we are coming to the choose here. Walls stays high, Fuller goes low again. He'll try and make that work. Remember, last time he went for that, it allowed Chicano, who chose from second place, to be on that high side to make the move happen. We'll see if there's a repeat of that or whether this time Nathan Fuller can make the move. And all trucks on fresh tyres, everyone taking 4 here again. I think that means that everyone has 2 spare sets left in the pit lane, unless someone's made quite a gamble. I think I'm just in the wall right now. Again, Mika Walls in control of the restart. Once we get into the zone out of turn number 4, it's going to get another really good launch. Alonso Chicano going to follow, and this is going to be the battle once again through turns 1 and 2. They're going to be side by side on exit, and I think that's going to give the advantage to momentum for the 25 on the high side. You see aggressive side draft, the pinch to try and narrow that line from Alonso. They are going to stay side by side, but not quite. He's going to fall behind on the exit. Now we look a little bit further back as Jonathan Jerdensmeyer and Justin Durand are side by side for 4th, and actually run up onto the back of Nathan Fuller here a little bit. Very tight quarters here for these restarts. All 19 cars back on the lead lap, all racing for all they can get out of this one. A little bit of a wiggle from Caldwell behind, but nothing to be too concerned about. And those wall straights are going to be a little bit more ominous. We're going to stay in one piece. Alex Kerfen trying to whip all the way on that high side to defend from Jonathan Jerdensmeyer, who's got a bit flat-footed now. Oh, but a little bit too high, gets up into the wall. And that might let the 0-0 there. Through turn number 2. As William Kemp actually goes around in turn number 2, a very slow spin. Gets it pulled down onto the grass. The field is going to be coming by here in turn 1. Is that going to bring out the caution, or are they going to let this race stay green here? It looks like we are going to stay green. Kemp is going to have to let the field by here and is going to bring goes 1 lap down. He's going to need a lucky dodge to get back onto the lead lap here. Chicano right on the rear bumper here of Mika Walls, and he's going to try and go for the move at getting turn number 1. Can't quite make it stick, but that was the fastest lap from the number 25, 22.043. And he's really not giving up on this one now. Got given a second lease on life with Nathan Fuller picking the low side on the restart. Now Alonso's back into second place and looking to try and make it the first lap led off the night. Oh, and the caution's out. The 19 of Christopher Smeltz is around, and that'll be, as we get to the halfway point of the race, exactly what William Kemp needed to get back into this race. Let's have a look at what happened here for the number 19 truck. Is it just a self-spin, or was that a little bit of help? It's coming off turn number 2, gets into the wall, maybe a little bit harder than expected. Tries to send it in to defend from number 17 of Tristan Maher, and just ends up sliding around that a little bit too much. Again, with any luck, should be minimal damage involved in that one. Go back to live pictures, he will come down pit lane, take a little bit of damage repair, maybe a fresh set of tyres to try and flip the strategy somewhat. That is again going to give William Kemp a chance to fly around the outside of the field and get back onto the lead lap. All 19 trucks, Ocho Sutherland, Gabe Tazola, who wasn't really able to get rolling off the trailer tonight. Everyone back onto the lead lap. Everyone on very similar strategies. Brett Bennett, it seems, came in for fuel only. And maybe just to check the truck over a little bit. We're still lined up with Mika Walls at the head of our field. And a few trucks just filtering off pit lane. They're taking some more damage repairs. Like Holland and one of them, Cody McCorkle, taking some repairs as well. And Christopher Smelter, it looks like mostly in one piece. after that incident. Just wanted to make sure there was no lasting damage from that one. But I believe we are going to come to the shoes once again, and the real question, I think, is going to be, where does Nathan Fuller decide to go? He's been burnt on that low side a couple of times now. We know where Mika's going. Mika's staying on that high side. Chicano goes back to the high side, and I think because of that, Fuller has to opt low. Will it be third time's a charm for Nathan to try and hold on to that position, get back into second, coming off this restart? His car's going to pull up. There's quite a tight pinch already there from Nathan Fuller. Come out turn 4. Wants to stay in the hands of Mika Walls. He's gone early as he has all the race so far, but actually maybe it's a bit of a better jump there from Nathan Fuller, a wiggle from Alonso. I'm not sure whether that was helped by any contact. He's gonna manage to clear Justin Durand and stay in third place, and now it's a question of how aggressively these two are going to race each other. Was there a little bit of a hip check when it's turn number 1? They're still side by side behind, trying to really go in for the high side of the track here, trying to rip the fence. We see a further behind Justin Rourke, taking that a bit too literally, but gets an okay run off the corner at least. And there's contact. There is a little bit of a helping hand on the number 4. He will catch it, but that's going to cause logjam behind. That's going to cause more logjam. He's going to get put into the wall by Justin Rourke. We're going to stay green, but I think that might answer the question of whether there was contact on that restart, because Alonso Chicano did not take kindly to that at all and decided to put Nathan Fuller a bit further back down the field. It's now running down in P10, has some damage on the front and is going to go around. And that is going to be our 4th caution of the night, and by far the most catastrophic one. In fact, yeah, now the caution finally flies. It seems like the short track fans have finally come out in force here, and it precipitated all the way back on that restart. If we can get a look at what happened all the way back there, we'll go to our trusty blink cam. You see the run. Oh, I'm not sure really that Fuller did much wrong there. I think just pinched to the high side, as he knew he sort of had the right to do. You see Alonso go for that lunge once again. And, I mean, we saw the contact and the spin that went a bit further back. Let's jump instead to our to the later incident here. So did he get any more help from the I think just spun independently, and then we go on board with Smelter here and just look at the view that he would have had coming through turns 3 and 4. You can tell there's a hornet's nest ahead. You can tell that something might happen, but then you see nothing, and then suddenly there's the 4. And your radio goes right into that right rear wheel. We'll jump back to live pictures now. We've got a few cars down on pit lane here. Smelter has come back out. Nathan Fuller as well, but we would have to imagine there is lingering damage there. And you've got all the work to do again. We saw the charge through the field in the early stages. That job to be just a little bit harder now with 110 laps ticked off this race and a little bit of lingering damage on that right rear panel. Maybe to the wheel geometry as well. And I think we're very lucky, given the scale of that incident, that we did end up remaining with everyone on the lead lap. Carno again opting for the high side. Justin Durand now on the low side alongside Mika Walls, who I think still has led every lap of this race. But expect no different on this restart. He's had some great jumps here, and it's really left second and third to fight over it, as we saw last time out. And again, get a great jump, streets away. Side by side between Chicano and Durand. How aggressive is that 25 going to want to be now, given what happened on that previous restart? They're going to be side by side still into turns 3 and 4. Usually, Chicano's been able to clear coming out of turn 4. This time, it's going to be opposite, a little bit of contact, but it'll be Justin Durand who's able to get ahead here and up into second place. And now, Chicano has Rivers Jones to deal with on that low side, as they are 3 wide behind Justin Rourke, Cameron Caldwell, David Durand. I think Rourke is going to struggle on that high side, but David Durand not wanting to push too hard on the high side. They're still going to be 3 abreast coming into turn number 1. And I think ultimately this might have to be for Rourke to back out. But no, actually, Caldwell clears David Durand. And now Justin Rourke has a real chance on that low side. Got Alex Kerfin a little bit further ahead into the wall. So maybe a little bit of contact with Cameron Caldwell. They're going to get stayed in the straight direction. But now it's David Durand. Now, that is Dakota Knoll who got shuffled out. And I think we may have finally lost our minds. It was, the first half of this race was looking really clean. Like, everyone was being super patient and just trying to manage tires as much as possible. I think people are starting to see the checkered flag start to come into view. You see a little bit of lean in there from Brett Bennett on Cameron Caldwell. I think no love lost in any of these drivers now. They've seen some of these incidents we've had further up the field, and I get the feeling we haven't seen our last portion of the race now. Again, those extra tyre sets are going to be important, as that is a spin for Levi Poland. Going to keep it just about putting in the right direction. And we are going to stay green here. Poland is going to be able to stay on the lead lap as well. But a very close call indeed, as we are still going to be side by side with Cameron Caldwell, who again seems to be the centre of a lot of the action here tonight. Just a tap from Cody McCorkle. They're going to stay pointed in the right direction here. And look who's lurking behind. Nathan Fuller has recovered back to 14th place, but I'm sure going to be very eager to try and right some wrongs from that previous run here. I'm sure not going to be happy to see these two in lockstep and blocking the entire track here. Fuller's going to go to the high side. Expect maybe a little bit of help to the number 12 here, if he can get to the rear bumper. I think that is what happened, but it's actually sent Caldwell into the wall. The 2 has a moment, recovers it, slots in behind. That does resolve the roadblock there, but not in the way that Fuller would have expected or really wanted. Now it's one-on-one against Cameron Caldwell to try and have a repeat of what we saw in the opening stage of this race, where he climbed from 17th to 4th by the end of the first stage. Gonna have to do it again. Let's move into turn 1. Was there help there for Caldwell, or was that just overcutting it into turn number 1? It's going to bring out the caution. I think we're now going to see tyre stops here, and potentially a chance for strategy to play a factor. Let's try and get a replay of what just happened. A little bit further. Let's go actually on board with Nathan Fuller on this roll bar cam and see, was there any help onto the 12 of Cameron Caldwell? No. Actually just a little bit of a feint there to go to that low side. A solo spin then from Caldwell, but again, not able to be dived. We're all going to stay on the lead lap. And this time we've got a few trucks deciding to stay out. Justin Rourke, Tristan Maher, David Duran Jr. Quite a lot of trucks staying out. Nathan Fuller comes in. I think he's still taking some repairs actually, so I think maybe the charge starts now. It'll be Mika Wall's first off pit lane as the usual, but we've got 7 trucks ahead now. How many of these are going to make the call to come down pit lane? It looks like this might be where the strategy flips, and this is about to get really interesting indeed. It looks like Stephen Thornton's now made the call down. The other 6 trucks all still out on the racetrack. And as a reminder, some of these tyres are 35 laps off. I think maybe all the tyres are. Maybe some trucks coming down for repairs a little bit earlier. But Maher Duran Coppenol on very old rubber here. And so the question is, what can Kerfen or Walls actually... Kerfen took fuel only, it looks like. Just a splash and comes out ahead of Walls as well. But didn't have time to take any tyres on that truck. And so it'll be the top 6 all on this alternate strategy. Will come to the choose once again. And this time it's what does Justin Rourke decide to do? Goes to the top side. Maher goes low, Duran goes high. They're going to zip for a little bit. Mika Walls, of course, isn't going to go any differently, but now has 3 full rows of trucks to deal with on this restart. We are still with 19 on the lead lap, but got 75 laps to go in this race, and this is about to get very interesting indeed. Justin Rourke on the high side, in control of the field for this restart here. Gets the jump, and this time actually Tristan Maher gets away a lot better. He's going to be clear of Durand into turn number 1. There's like that, and that is going to be into the wall. That's Alonso Chicano, and that is going to be the big one. Caution is out on the racetrack. And I'm not sure whether that did precipitate from those mid tyre calls, but that is going to be a chaotic incident there. Let's have a look at how this happened. Mika Walls gives a little bit of a shot to the 42 on the restart, actually. Chicano is going to try and go for the move. Walls has to check up. I need to have another look at that, I think. Maybe pull it into slow-mo a little bit. So it starts with Mika Walls and the number 42 here of Josh Coppenol. See, just widen exit. Bumping. The 25 Chicano also pushing these trucks through. It ends up being Walls into Coppenol into the 55 of Dakota Knoll, who I think might be a retirement from this race. 46 a late entry as well. That would be Stephen Thornton. As we go back to our live pictures here, that has thrown a lot of chaos into the mix here. Dakota Knoll, our first extended repair, now 3 laps down, and still in pit lane. Chicano further back down the field. Thornton in for a few more repairs here. Probably saw Josh Coppenall at the end of that, making his way into just not really enough time to get on the anchors from an instant late on the backstretch. And Mika Walls, let's try and get a closer look at that truck to see just how badly it got wounded from that. But number 7 might have got away with it, actually. Just getting pushed, beaten around from all sides with there. After what has been a pretty pedestrian race for the first 120 laps, really. A big scare for Mika, but will stay in one piece. It actually promotes Justin Durand to our lead truck on fresh tyres. It's still Justin Raw and Tristan Maher at the front row. I think our front trio is still looking exactly as they were on the previous restart. Let's try and re-rack and see if we can get a clear restart this time. 69 laps to go to into the line. And again, Maher gets a really good launch. I'm not sure if there's coordination there, but Durand really getting left out to dry there. The top 4 all with a decent breakaway. And we got another caution out on the racetrack. I think this time it is Josh Coppenall. Here's our restart. Very slow, and maybe a damaged truck there. More wounded than we expected. Just loops it immediately into turn number 1. Really unfortunate that brought out the caution, because most of the field was by, and he was able to get it rolling before the rest of the field would have caught up. But iRacing caution just went into effect here. We have actually David Durand deciding, you know what, that's enough. Maybe I don't want to be in this hornet's nest anymore. The Pepsi truck will pull it down pit road. Alex Kerford, we think, still on all tyres. A lot of trucks actually down pit lane here. I wondered how much of that is lingering damage, and how much of that is maybe now they're going to take a set to go all the way to the end. I think Nathan Full is still taking some damage repair. The band, I think, did pick 4 tyres there, as we expected. But just a few trucks stayed out under a mid-race caution, and suddenly everything is back in the open air. And we'll have a look at our stint lads here. Raw, Maher, and Bennett out. So it's all the way from the previous caution. Kerfen came in, we think, just for fuel. It'll be Durand and Jordensmeyer behind, who are on the fresh tyres with Jones and Walls. Behind them, Wall again coming under a lot more fire than his second place starting position would have produced. Josh Coppenall now gone a lap down, as I think he decided to try and get as much of that fixed right now, rather than potentially risking another caution coming out. I believe we are coming to the choose now. But again, high, Maher again low. Bennett decides to go high this time. That'll put Justin Durand. Oh, sorry, that was a curve but that's just Durand. Second row on fresh tyres. That is going to be something to watch out for. He might be trying to cut through as quickly as possible to just get away from the chaos that has happened on these previous couple of restarts. We'll focus again on this front row. Justin Roth, we know he's going to get a good launch. Justin Maher has been very good on that low side on these past couple of restarts. Confident on the throttle. Got Brett Bennett now behind him. This time Bennett gets a great jump. Durand is going to look low side 3 wide here. Is he going to be able to clear? No, he's not going to be able to clear. He's going to have to pinch low. They're still W3 coming into turn number 2. This is exactly what Justin Rort wants. And if it wasn't logjam before, it is now. Justin Maher backs out a little bit. And I think Durand is going to be able to clear up now into second place. Still has Bennett to fight off a little bit. But now the fresh tyres are really going to show their force. Further back, we still have a lot going on. Mika Walls on that low side as well. 2, 3 wide. We come down the front stretch. It's a bad run there for the number 2 of Cody McCourse. They're going to be 3 wide into turn number 3 here. Kerfin tags the wall. And that is going to be Nathan Fuller around. Gets it stopped in the advertising hoarding on the front stretch. That's going to be another caution. And it really starts to feel like the cautions are breeding cautions here. We're down within the last 60 laps. Was there a little bit of help here from Cameron Caldwell? There was a little bit of an acknowledgement there through turn 1 and 2. Caldwell does give a little bit of the bumper in turn 3, and I think, yeah, I'm going to say that is the number 12. Just being a little bit too aggressive on the fight back there. Hello, Joshua. That seems like a bad omen for your race that you've now hopped into the booth. Talk about it. What was that incident looking like from your point of view on that back stretch? Because that really was a big one.
I have opinions. I really don't want to say. Just for try to stay neutral here. But the one right after that, though, that was my truck just had so much damage I couldn't handle it, and we had a self spin there, and I just ultimately decided to park it. And I figured you could use some company, so I'm here to call the rest of the race with you.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the amount of caution running we have, it's nice to have someone to talk to. So I was kind of running out of things to say a little bit. It was going so well. I think that's what I want to say. It was going so well for the first 100, 120 laps. A lot of sort of single car incidents, a lot of incidents that didn't really do much damage to anyone. And I think then, yeah, under that caution, around lap 125, some trucks deciding to go for the call and stay out on sort of 35-ish lap old tyres. And ultimately, it's just caused a traffic jam at the front of the field that it's just not worked out for anyone. It's caused a lot of trouble for Alonso Chicano, who's run up front all day. Mika Wall is still stuck in that traffic and was caught up in that incident on the backstretch as well.
Yeah, and it's been so hard to pass here. I mean, a lot of drivers are struggling, complaining about how hard it is to pass. And from what I understand, it really seems like the one with the clean air out front is in the best shape. You know, we're probably see right here Justin Durant trying to hang with Justin Rott, but ultimately Rott's probably going to get away just having the clean air.
Yeah, of course the difference in tyres is pretty significant between those two. Durand is the first truck who managed to take those fresh tyres. We have extended the caution, it looks like, by 1 lap after taking the choose here. So we're restarting with 56 laps to go in this race. And it's all about the jump, I think, that Justin can get on his restart. Because we've seen that truck on the inside really struggle. We saw it on the initial start even, where Justin Durand got sort of left out to dry by Mika Walls on the high side. We'll see what he's able to do here against Rort, who is running tires. Well, we think tires close to 50 laps old is actually just Durant's had a bit of a blink. That's not going to help his restart at all. We're back green once again. He should be clear of Brett Bennett here. I mean, through turn number 2. And he's right on the back of Justin Raw. But again, we're seeing that having that dominant high side is going to help you out a lot. We'll keep an eye on this 2x2 further behind. That's a big whittle from Rivers Jones. And
Jurgensmeyer really doing a great job holding it under Brett Bennett. Actually, Brett has an issue. That's going to allow Jurg and Walls to get past.
And we know Walls is not happy about how this last sort of 20 laps has gone for him. He was in control of the entire race to this point, led every lap aside from a couple of people sort of staying out for laps that under the caution. But now having to run in traffic, it's causing a lot of trouble and a lot of headaches. He's got Jurgensmeyer ahead, who we think is on fresh tyres as well. It's just Justin Roth now, who we think is on the old tyres at the front of this field. And we'll see if Durand can get a move done. He's close coming into turn number 3, but he can't really put the nose low enough. He's not got the grip needed on entry. He's going close on exit here from turn number 4. And this is the first real attempt, but you can just see how much grip there is on that high side there.
Yeah, Durand is struggling big time here. But we have a caution. Actually, it is Nathan Fuller.
And a day that was looking like a really solid recovery drive for the number 4 seems going from bad to worse now. We'll get a look at what caused this one. Goes to the low side on David Durand. David Durand actually ends up giving, I think that was Alex Kerfen, a little bit of help. And then on the exit of the corner, Fuller is not really able to focus, and that brings us to the final 50 laps of the race under another caution. Fuller comes down pit lane. Yeah, I don't think it might be approaching some kind of incident penalty at this point. He's been thrown all over the track so far tonight. We still have Justin Raw, Durand, Jurgensmeyer, Walls staying out. It's just the tail end of the field. On Chicano, of course, one of the more beat-up trucks still running in tonight's contest. And I wonder, is he going to bother taking any more repairs, or is this just going to be a tyre stop to... This is going to be an extended stop, in fact. Nathan Fuller with a 9.5 second stop there. I hope that wasn't 2 tyres.
Go back and take a look. No, actually, it looks like just some damage repair for that 4 machine.
You can see, of course, this isn't everyone's repair numbers. I think those are actually maybe not quite accurate with the issues that the others were having earlier. I seem to have gotten those wrapped up for the time being, but even just, I think, in the last 100 laps or so, 7 times down pit lane for Fuller, 8 for Thornton and Kempf. It's been one of those races where some drivers have had that damage they've had to keep topping off. And we might be down to some drivers with maybe just 1 tyre set left as we come in towards the end of this race. Here's the choose. Raw again goes high, Durand again goes low. Mika Walls opts for the low side as well. We saw how good his starts were leading the top side, but not really with the same luxury anymore. Decides to move up to the second row rather than slotting behind Jurgensmeyer. And maybe hoping for a bad launch from Justin Raw to try and have that 00 checked up and move up to 3rd.
Raht's one of the best at restarts, though.
he's been super consistent, even on the old tyres, just getting the power down nice and smooth. And it's very much the same again. It's well clear. Durand has the nose ahead of Jordensmeyer coming into turn number 1. They're going to leave each other some room. But again, this is where the run off the high side can really benefit. See, from being sort of half the car ahead, Jordensmeyer gets level against turn number 3. And now Justin Rohr, I think, playing a little bit of a...
Oh, we got somebody around. It is Cody McCorkle.
And I think it's safe to say we have hit that phase of tonight's race. Let's have a look if McCorkle was helped out in that one, and let's go back a little bit further, but I think the conclusion is going to be yes. That'll be the is that the number
Levi
90
Poland.
truck? Levi Poland. I mean, it's a tiny tap, but when it's right on the corner of the truck there, it's going to cause some instability. And I guess we are lucky that it was just a single car spin without any more trucks getting piled up, but it's going to lead to more frustrations on the restart. That's the thing we know for sure. It's going to lead to some drivers trying to make those aggressive moves once again. The front of the field still looking very much the same, but it's a revolving cast. Sort of further down in the top 10s, everyone comes in to take any damage they have to as they sort of skate around any incidents happen ahead of them. We're thinking that any trucks who are coming to pit lane now are probably going to want to, if it's for tyres, they're going to probably want to see those to the end of the race. Track position being so valuable here, and we're wondering whether Justin Rohr already made that call just after sort of lap 100 or so. Say, you know what, I want the track position here. I'm gonna see this one out from rain or shine.
And that very well might be so. You know, as mentioned, it is so hard to pass here. I know of leagues in the past where it's kind of been this trend where you have caution after caution after caution, and it seems like you can stay out. You literally don't have to pit at all. Just stay out front, have the track position, at least be good enough on restarts to hold off people behind you, and you're in good shape. Now, obviously, everybody has taken a pit stop in this race, a couple times probably, but you know, right now the way things are going, if we continue to have a caution fest, this might go into Roth's favor.
Yeah, the fewer laps we have under green to the end of this, the less time there is for those tyres to really fall off and to cause him problems. You see Durand now really wanting to put some pressure on, leaning on the door through turn 3 and 4 there, but it is under the control of Justin Rohr, who started tonight's race in P13. Gets another good jump. This time it's not great from Jordensmeyer. That should let Durand have a good run here through turns 1 and 2, but the 0-0 are going to keep the nose in there. Mikael Wall's going to try and help the number 5 through, and then follow to move into P3. It's not going to be quite so simple. Jordensmeyer going to fight it back on the high side. Very close contest off turn number 4. But I think that 0-0 is a shuffle a bit too far. They're going to get into the wall. Still going to try and fight this one back on Mika.
And those two are teammates, or at least affiliates. I'm not sure what team they're a part of, but they are affiliates, and they're going to race each other pretty hard. Micah Walls actually is clear of Jonathan Jurgensmeyer now.
And now it's about defending from Rivers Jones, who's gotten the nose inside, and now it's a little bit more than that there. And this is part of the problem. If you have that high side, but you're able to sort of sweep down mid-corner, you can really defend very well. But once you get out of rhythm, once a truck gets there and starts to force you to leave that space open, it can be very easy for another truck to come and fill that as soon as they make the pass happen. So it's about trying to sort of reconsolidate on the high side. That wiggle could give Jordans-Meyer the chance to clear, and I think that is going to let him sort of take that breath, and now it's just Maher on the high side for the safe advantage of that mistake from Rivers-Jones.
Yeah, Rivers needs to find a way up quickly, but with Tristan Maher right to his outside and Cameron Caldwell, I mean, in tow behind Maher, it's not going to be easy at all. And Rivers, he could just fall back from here in this line. Got an opportunity. Actually, Cameron Caldwell, well, looked like he wanted to take a 3 wide, but smarter move did not do so.
I think was maybe expecting Tristan to clear there and then go low 2 wide with Rivers-Jones, but it didn't quite happen there, and in the end decides to back out of it as Cody McCorkle was like low on the apron there. I think there's some issues there for the number 2 truck. It's falling down the order right now, and will be causing a little bit of impatience from the trucks behind her. Seems to get back up now, but I think lost 2 or 3 spots on that apron through turns 1 and 2. They're still side by side here. Caldwell getting to the high side, nearly getting tipped around by Rivers-Jones. Gonna get going once again. So there's a wiggle behind from Cody McCorkle on the fringe of the top 10.
Brett Bennett trying to have himself a piece of battle with Rivers-Jones. But yeah, I've been watching Cody McCorkle, and even just him being a teammate and working with him in this race, he's been all over the track. Seems like he's been kind of experimenting with different lines, and see, he's going to make the pass on David Durand and maybe catch the wall there while doing so.
Yeah, Nathan Fuller as well behind just cleared Tristan Smeltzer, but I think a little bit of a tap on the rear bumper there, completing that one as well. Now it is going to be Alex Kerfan's turn to try and make the move on that low side, and Smeltzer, again, great qualifying effort, started P4 in this race, but just hasn't seemed to have the long run pace on the tyres, and it is struggling to hold on to those positions now. Let's look back further up the field though. We've got side by side between Maher and Jordans-Meyer for P4, but as you mentioned, the track position just too powerful right now. Justin Raw leading Justin Durand, and Mika Walls, the driver who is putting a lot of pressure on, goes for a lunge there into turn number 3, trying to force them to get back into second place, but just can't seem to make anything of it right now.
Yeah, Walls is going to be aggressive. That's what he does. And he's trying. He is trying so hard to get past Justin Durand.
And there's so many laps left for Walls in this race. He's not really had to do much fighting, but now is finally clear of those the majority of the trucks on all tyres, and wants to get back to the lead of the race. And in side by side for a good couple laps here, Walls gonna clear. Durand gonna go for the up and under here, but he's not able to make it work. That is Mika Walls back up in second place now, as Tristan Maher also made it around Jonathan Jordans-Meyer in that time.
And Cameron Caldwell going to try to get around Jonathan Jordans-Meyer.
Oh! Could have been a much bigger incident there. Caldwell keeps a hold of it after drifting up into Jordans-Meyer. I think exited turn 4 a little bit narrower than he expected. Jordans-Meyer holds on for P5. Caldwell has to get it back and falls down to P8 now. And look who's lurking behind. It's Nathan Fuller, though, who is being sent 3 wide here by Alex Kerfan. His opening stage of the race was really strong from Fuller, but it's been downhill from there. He been helped around by a couple of people, including Cameron Caldwell, we think. So we'll see how that battle kicks off if it gets there. But let's look at Mika Walls. The gap now underneath 0.2 of a second. Walls are having a much better chance at fighting this as Durand did, as Durand's actually fallen further back down the order. Maher's gotten through. And Walls might be able to get back to the lead here after being forced to start P7 on that restart that led to all the carnage.
And don't look now, but Tristan Maher is reeling them in. Maher actually faster than them, but Walls does complete the pass on Justin Rott.
I mean, I'd assume teammates with the shared sponsor, that could have been a little bit of defending extra hard for Durand to let Walls come into the picture, of course. There was still a good amount of fight there left for Mika, but just the tyre difference ended up being a lot. We saw how good Walls was on the tyres in that first stage, falling about a 4-second lead at the end of the stage. He's again putting some strong defense on Tristan Maher, but the 17's having none of it, giving the door there to try and get clear. And I think he's going to be able to have a good shot at this into turn number 1.
Maher needs to get clear quickly, and he does so. Let's see if Tristan Maher can reel in Micah Walls.
Gap is currently about 0.7 of a second. And again, the question is, how much has Walls been saving? He's not made the moves to the field that quickly, and I'm wondering whether that is for the sake of keeping those good gears underneath him and really putting a charge here as we have entered the final 20 laps of this race. Further back, I mean, whenever we see Nathan Fuller, he's seems to be 2-3 wide with someone. Has made it clear for P9, but Rivers Jones not particularly thrilled about it. It's going to be stuck side by side with Alex Kerfen now. And Nathan Fuller should be able to scamper away and try and get to the back of the trucks further ahead. Next up, Cameron Caldwell, who was running really well until that instant with Jordensmeyer. Those two actually now running close once again. Jordensmeyer's fallen back a couple of spots, so we'll see how friendly these two decide to be the next time they get side by side.
I don't know if I mentioned it, but tempers are flaring. I can confirm that after being on the track with these guys.
When there's 6 cautions in a row, it's a pretty safe bet. I'm not sure who's going to be particularly happy about this race. I think Mika Walls would have been frustrated in that middle phase, but it's now going to be all smiles. Justin Raw, of course, has had a great strategy call, so I'm sure that team is really feeling good right now, but everyone else behind, maybe not so much. Durand again trying to make this move happen, has not been able to make the move on Raw. He's going to force it. He's going to slide through the corner. It's going to gather it back up, but it's Cameron Caldwell that goes into the back.
Oh, and Alex Kerfen gets clipped as well. And that was a whole bunch of radius violence after the contact Durand had with Rott.
And now the question's going to be, do you make the trip down to pit lane?
Retires? No.
I had a feeling, but it was something worth asking, I think. The 5 and the 12 actually really the only trips getting too involved in that. Just unfortunate for Caldwell that the 5 sort of saved it low, and that Jordensmeyer was on that high side with the 12 going for the overtake.
Rott's pitting, as well as Jurgensmeyer, and, well, a whole bunch of others.
This seemed like the perfect chance for Justin Raw. I mean, you're on the older tyres already. If you can sort of Pied Piper the back of the field down, remember we do have up to 3 green-white checkers here, and with how it's been going, we could see all 3 of them. If you can pit at the front of the field very confidently in your body language and bring everyone down, it can be really good for you. We have just, I think, 8 trucks, maybe 6 trucks staying out on this one, so that'll cycle Justin Durand up to 7th. We've seen what he can do on the old tyres. Now sort of roles reversed with his teammate Mika of what can he do coming back through the field. That'll be lucky dodge for Stephen Thornton. He'll get back onto the lead lap. And who knows what's happened at this point. We've got 17 trucks still running, all on the lead lap. If there's a big incident near the end of the race, you could easily sneak a top 10 out of this one.
And I want to point out real quick, there is an incident limit, and it's if you get 17x, it's a penalty, drive-through penalty under green, and then if you get up to 25x, it's a disqualification. I know there were drivers that were close when I was still in the race. I can't imagine what some of these drivers are thinking right now. Now that, you know, I mean, it's only going to be 10 laps to go. We go back green, I assume. And, yeah, I mean, temper's flaring. Incident limits are high. The race is now on the line for the win. What more can you ask? Saturday night short track racing here at IRP.
Tristan Maher goes for the high side here, and we are approaching that phase of the race where you've got to wonder whether the nose of that Chevrolet is going to see some use on the restart. Bennett goes to the low side. Nathan Fuller will follow again. Started 17th, made it to 4th by the end of stage 1. Ended up in the spin cycle around everyone, but now back up to P4 on those old tyres. It's Justin Raw, the lead truck on fresh tyres. He'll be on the 4th row of the grid. Coming to this restart. And I expect Mika Walls to pull this one off really well. He had so much practice early in the race. It'll be a question of what can Bennett and Maher do behind. And off he goes. I think with 10 laps to go now. Tristan Maher, Brett Bennett side by side. Look at Justin Raw already. Going 3 wide on the low side. He's up to P4 already. He'll be side by side with Nathan Fuller. The number 2 of Tony McCorkle also goes for the move, but this could be a strategy call for the win here. The 76 making up 3 positions on the restart. Now going to try and send it 3 wide on the low side with Brett Bennett and Tristan Maher. Is going to make it stick, and already is going to be up into 2nd place. And he's going to try and run towards his teammate Mika, and the number 7 might not have much to say about this one.
All right, I want to go to the Justin Raw School of Racing. We got to spin in the back anyway. It is Alonso Chicano.
We got a couple of spins in the back. We also had caution
Smeltzer.
is out. And
fresh stretch.
Yeah, we had a couple spills. We'll go to this one first. But I think that really saved as up on the high side there, just solo incident. I don't think that would have been the caution. I think it would have been Christopher Smeltzer a little bit further ahead. This is coming out of turn number 2 here, so we'll watch how it all precipitates a little bit further back here. Goes to the high side, going to be 3 wide. Maybe a little bit of a checkup from the 17 ahead, gets sent and tapped around by, I believe that was Nathan Fuller in the number 4 car. Just, you're not going to make 4 wide work here, it seems like, and that's what they were all going for. But what that caution does do is it does kind of bail Justin Raw out, because he was loose off turn 4 there. Had to gather it back up. Was maybe going to hold on to 2nd place, but was going to have to give the tyres a chance to cool down. What that's going to do is it's going to let him sort of reset. He's going to have warmed up tyres for this restart now. It'll be Jonathan Jerdensmeyer and David Durand behind the lead cars, who were also on fresh tyres. Mika Walls, Brett Bennett and Tristan Maher all staying out under that previous caution. Mika Walls 71 laps on those good years. He's got to commit to it at this point. You can't make the call. You've got to assume we're going to have some cautions to sort of neutralise a lot at the end of this race. But
And I don't think they're done either.
I really don't. But I think that team channel has become a little bit icy right now. Not quite at the choose yet. I'm really curious to see what Justin Raw decides to do. Whether he goes to that high side or whether he wants to try and fight the move low. Like, I mean, he made a lot of great moves in that low lane to get around everyone. I'd expect Justin to go for that again. But if you want a single monitor, it can be difficult to time the restart if you're not directly behind the leader. And I'm not sure Mika's going to want to count him in for this one.
No, no, no. I mean, I think all teammate games are out the window. You know, you're at 5 to go. We're going to restart with 3 laps to go. And all teammate games are out the window. If you're Micah Walls, you got to be selfish. And yeah, Walls going to take the top. Rott's going to take the bottom. So
And it looks like all of the... Actually, no, David Duran does take the high side, but that low line is going to be all trucks on fresh tyres here. And the question is, are those top 3 on the high side maybe coming out to dry here? How long can Walls hold on for? These tyres are 73 laps old. We're going to get back racing once again with just 2 miles around this Indiana short track to go. 3 laps to go. Mika Walls in control of the restart. And it's as good a launch as ever. Brett Bennett's going to follow. And the question is, can Justin Rohr clear easily? Justin Rohr's already there through turns 1 and 2. He's on the rear bumper. He gives a little bit of a tap there. And this is going to be for the lead between teammates. Walls on the high side, Rohr 70 lap fresher tyres on the low side. He's going to be side by side mid-corner. Jonathan Jerdensmeyer blinking out. He's going to go 3 wide here, 2 to go.
oh my. There
And
is
Justin
contact.
Rohr is going to make it happen to the lead. Jerdensmeyer to the inside now. Are we going to make it back to the white flag? Actually, Mika Walls just doesn't have anything really left to fight with. It's always so frustrating to try and fight this one with the truck who's coming out of existence. We do make it to the white flag. I think Jonathan Jerdensmeyer is going to be able to clear. Are we going to have any incidents behind? Looks like they're clean so far. No, there's Nathan Fuller around one more time in this race, but bridging it back to the front of the field. What a run in the final few laps from Jonathan Rohr. He's going to take the checkered flag here at IRP.
Great job, Justin Rott. Time taking his tires at the just right. Did a great job there. Teammates gonna celebrate with him. Alex Kerfan giving him congratulations.
Oh. Who was that that lost the engine on the front stretch?
Maybe Walls?
I think we might be here a while. You can't blame him. It was a long, hard-fought race. A lot of frustration in that middle phase, but yeah, you got to say he made all the right calls when he needed to. He decided to stay out early and was able to hold on to it really well as he made sure that truck doesn't have any issues post-inspection. But then decided to flip the script under that late caution. We weren't expecting it to work out. We were expecting the track position to reign supreme, but with the length of that run going towards that, just able to make it work on the low side, where we've not seen much so far tonight, and take home that checkered flag. So, shall we get a word with our race winner here? Justin, this is Olivia in the JCTV booth. You got a copy?
I sure do.
What a run that was at the end of the race. I can't say anything more about it. Just talk us through that call, first of all. The bravery to go on fresh tyres at the end and give up the track position. And
My tires were extremely old. I pit really early to get track position, and hold the lead and try to help Micah a little bit because he got stuck towards the back, and that worked out. I held on in the lead a lot longer than I expected, and then I knew at that point. I mean, I was just dropping back, so that caution, I knew I had to pit, and I thought a lot more people would pit, and I just know that the bottom of the track is completely flat and no one on old tires is going there. So, I mean, I'm going to go there. I know it's going to roll. So that just worked out extremely well for me and pretty much perfect at that point. And it was a fun race.
And of course, your teammate, Mika Walls, I'll talk to him in a moment, but extremely dominant in the first half of that race, but things really got tight between you two at the end there. What was the temperature like in that Discord call as you two were racing for the lead in those final few laps?
Micah races hard with anyone, and I mean, we all do, no matter what it's for. So, obviously, for a win, for my first win, I mean, I didn't want to get into him. I just cooked it a little hard. But no real problem with that. I don't think. Just I had the huge advantage. I really hate it for him. I mean, he dominated. He was so quick, and he got third, which isn't a bad result, but just sucks for him because he really deserved this one more than anyone. But glad one of us got it, and guess glad that I've got it.
And of course, we are going to continue the close quarters racing on the brakes here next week. We're going to wine country over in Sonoma. How are you looking forward to that one?
Oh, that's interesting. I did one league race at Sonoma, and it was in the next gen, and I think I made it about a lap. But I'm not strong at the next gen at road courses, so hopefully trucks. I'm a little better. I think my goal is going to be a top 10, top 8, somewhere around there. I think I can probably do that. I just need to run a couple of laps and figure that track out on this game.
Well, I want to congratulations, a great run, really all throughout the race, but especially in those final laps to take home the checkered flag. The floor is yours for any shout outs, any sponsors they want to say thank you to. Congratulations.
Yeah, everyone in the call, me, Jurg, Micah, just awesome racing with those guys. Rivers, he was fun to race against for that little middle portion, and I think everyone else on the team's watching WWE or something, or watching the Clash. I don't know what, but I had the Clash turned on. I was losing a little bit of time because I was freaking looking up at my other screen watching it. So no, really fun. Happy for all those guys to get good results, and yeah, I don't. Sean, Steven, they're not here, but they're with the team. They contribute a lot, and huge for the team points. So shout out to everyone in T1A and Go and JBM, and shout out you guys for an awesome broadcast.
Thank you so much. Once again, congratulations, and we'll hope to see you again next week.
Yep, hope to see you too. Thank you.
And Josh, you want to take the interview with second place here?
Yeah, I'll take him. Jonathan Jurgensmeyer, second place finish for you. Yeah, I'll be honest, I'm not really sure how your entire race went because I was too busy in the back struggling to find speed, but you were able to get up to second there by taking some fresh tires late. I personally didn't think it would work. I really didn't. You made it work well enough to get up to second, so just walk us through how that race went for you.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. The first stage went green, which was really fun, and I mean, I ran pretty well, I think, and at the end, the decision to take tires or not take tires, it was definitely a tough one. But for me, it was more of a no-brainer because it'd been so long since we pit. But I mean, it definitely does suck for Micah. I think he was definitely the quickest all race, and he drove a really good race. But yeah, it was really fun. I'm really happy for Justin. It's been a long time coming, and I'm happy to actually finally have a good race in this league for once.
Yeah, it was great finish for you. Just begging a little bit of a struggle for what JP calls the future of sim racing. But you're still doing pretty good. Does this just add to or build up momentum?
Yeah, definitely. I had a really bad start to the season. I flipped on the last lap at Daytona from the lead, and something happened at Vegas. I don't know, and Auto Club wasn't very good either. But I mean, it definitely does build confidence. I wasn't really happy at all. I don't really like this truck at all. But I definitely do think that now I could go and still compete for the playoffs despite all the struggles.
Well, next week the focus is turned over to a road course, being Sonoma. I am really excited for that myself, even though I'm terrible at road courses. I still love them. What is your thoughts as we head to, in my opinion, one of the better NASCAR road courses?
I love it. I think Sonoma's really, really fun to drive. I'm happy to finally race some road courses in this league that are actually NASCAR tracks. But yeah, I think it'll be really fun. I'm excited for it.
All right, sponsors, shout out who gets it done for you.
Shout out to the guys. Justin got the win. Happy for him. And I mean, everyone I work with, they all know who they are. They help me out a lot. So shout out to all them.
All right, congrats on the P2, and we'll see you next week at Sonoma.
Thank you.
Johnson Jurgensmeyer, second place finisher. And Olivia, you have someone who's finished third.
Mika, so Olivia in the booth, you got a copy? Mika, you got a copy? Doesn't like we have Mika right now. We will hold for a minute.
Hello.
Hello, there we go.
There we go.
I mean, really a dominant race for you from the very start of that one. Spent at least 120 laps in lead. I don't have the exact number, but
143.
well, there we go. One hell of a showing from you there. Ultimately, it's going to be a podium after that late caution through the whole strategy into the air. But what was your secret here tonight? What was your sort of strategy for keeping the tires under you?
I don't know. I've put in enough practice here. I know exactly how to run this track, how to save tires very well here. I mean, earlier Justin and them were saying they were killing their tires in the before the stage while I was just pulling away. So I don't know. It's just disappointing that we come home with third.
Yeah, I mean, sort of great jumps on the restarts there, but it was really sort of lap 130 under that caution where things started to get a little bit more difficult. You ended up pitting for tires while a few trucks ahead stayed out, fell to, I think, P7 on that restart, and then really that was where the temper started flaring in this race. What was it like trying to cut your way back through the field while everything was burning down around you?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely hard to pass. And just track position was key there. And I got into Josh there. And Josh, I know you're in here. I didn't mean to get into you. You're just, just new tires and older tires. It didn't match up well. But yeah, it was really hard to pass and really tight. I wasn't really used to it since I was out front. It was a lot different.
And then, of course, you cut your way back through eventually. But what were the feelings when that late caution came out? And did you ever consider coming down pit road for fresh tires, or were you committed to the track position at that point?
Well, obviously, I thought about coming down for tires, but ultimately, I just couldn't come to myself to take tires and get caught and everybody with older tires in front of me. I wanted track position, but ultimately it just didn't pan out. I saw Justin rolling the bottom and knew it was over.
Well, it was still some great racing there, and ultimately it is still a podium position for you tonight, as well as a slew of bonus points. Next time out, we are over in wine country in Sonoma. How are you feeling about that race? I know Justin said he was feeling okay
Awful
about
road course racer.
it. Okay.
Hopefully, when we get maybe a top 10, we'll be happy with it.
Sounds good. And then maybe a little bit more fun in that mid-season tournament, I guess.
Yeah.
Floor is yours. Any shout-outs? Any sponsors? Anyone who?
I want to give a big
music?
shout out to Justin and Jerk for a 1-2 there. I'm glad Justin got his first one in this league and a good 1-2-3. And also got to shout out Bill.
Well, thank you for joining us, and congratulations on the podium, and some really great running here tonight.
Yep, thank you.
And with that, we are going to head into our end of race recap. Let's bring up the race results. They are maybe a little bit glitchy. Don't mind the numbers. We will just look at the racing order. Justin Raw, of course, taking home that race win. Jonathan Jerdensmeyer, second place with Mika Walls on those all the tyres, finishing in P3. Brett Bennett and Alex Kerfan round out your top 5 with Tristan Maher, Rivers Jones, David Durand, Justin Durand, and Cody McCorkle, your top 10 in this one. And then we have, of course, Levi Poland, William Kempf, Christopher Smeltzer, Alon Chicano, Nathan Fuller having an incident on that last lap, to drop him down to P15, and then Stephen Thornton, Cameron Caldwell, Josh Coppenall, Dakota Knoll, and Gabe Cazzola, your 20 starters for tonight's race.
Yeah, I feel really bad for that guy who finished 18th.
Yeah,
But,
I mean, it was, it was a tough one all night there, but it just really went from bad to worse, I think.
Yeah, it did. But, it's racing. I think Danica Patrick said one time, I believe it was her that said it, it's why you race these things. Nothing is guaranteed, because if it was, you wouldn't have to do it. And I mean, it's a bummer. But it's racing. It's what we all love. And unfortunate finish position, but we move on and just go at it next time.
Yeah, of course, next time out we are back on the West Coast for a road course race at Sonoma. We'll see which of the drivers have polished up their skills after being inspired by the Rolex last week, and I really can't wait for that one. I believe we have our first race that's expected to stay green the whole way through. Stage is just being applied on the ovals. So lots of strategy that could end up playing out in that one as well.
Yeah, I'm personally not a good road course racer, but I love it. I love when we get to road courses. It's a different challenge, and it is about just trying to stay consistent. We're not going to have yellows, so it's going to come down to who makes the least amount of mistakes. And I'll tell you what, there's drivers I know that are going to be ones to watch out for in that race. I don't think we've actually ran Sonoma in this league before, but road course ringers that I know that are really good: Cameron Caldwell, Tristan Maher, Michael Kruger. Those 3 drivers have dominated the road courses that we've visited before. Those 3 are going to be the ones to watch out for. And personally, my goal is just go out there and do the best I can. I'm not expecting a great finish, but we can keep it clean, keep it consistent. I think we'll do all right.
And I think in some ways the stock cars can be a bit of an equalizer on road courses, because even of an experienced road racer in a sort of normal GT car is gonna struggle to adapt to how sort of tricky they are, how much the weight is going to transfer over the crests of Sonoma. So it's definitely one to watch out for. I'm looking forward to it. But as we round off for tonight, I'm sure a lot of drivers looking to get to sleep after a slew of cautions late in the race there. We will say goodbye from myself, Olivia Hale, from Josh Coppenall, who graciously joined us towards the end of that race. And congratulations to Goat Racing and Justin Raw, taking home the win tonight. See you next time out in Sonoma.